It's kind of strange that the Christian Dominionist right wing Tea Party conservative Republicans would want to leave the Union. They are trying to secede from the Union. They want to secede from the Union because they don't like what's going on. Isn't it strange that when George W. Bush, when Bush Sr., and when Ronald Reagan were president, the Christian, Dominionist, right-wing, Tea Party, conservative, Republican demanded America, love it or leave it. Suddenly, it's not America, love it or leave it. It's America, secede from it. Resist, have armed violence against the government. Because, why? Well, the Christian, conservative, Dominionist, Tea Party, right-wing Republicans don't like liberals winning elections. The Tea Party, after winning elections with Ronald Reagan, and then winning elections with George Bush Sr. Now follow this. And then 8 years of Bill Clinton. Then 8 years of George W. Bush. G.W. Bush. It was America, love it or leave it. Suddenly, Barack Hussein Obama is elected president. And suddenly, it's no longer America, love it or leave it. It's America, threaten to kill the president, threaten to kill all the politicians. Wear a gun to all your rallies. Wear a gun to all your rallies. And since you've lost an election, secede from the Union of the United States of America. Because you don't like who won the election. As if liberals liked who won the elections when Ronald Reagan won. When George Bush Sr. won. When George W. Bush won the election for President of the United States. Are we saying America, love it or leave it? No. You have a right to protest. You have a right to resist. But you do not have the right to commit treason. You do not have the right to advocate the overthrow of a duly elected President of the United States. How are we going to have a country if every time you lose an election, you have armed revolt and insistence that you be allowed to leave the Union? How much of a baby are you? These are incredibly baby people. They look grown up, but they're the biggest babies I've ever known. I didn't want to live under George W. Bush. And then he has the audacity at the end of his term, his second term, to bail out the rich, to bail out the banks, to bail out Wall Street, after giving them a massive tax cut before that. I despise that son of a bitch. But I would never, ever call for the murder of a president. Not even Ronald Reagan. Not even George Bush Sr. And not even George W. Bush. I would never call for his murder or their murder. And I sure would never advocate leaving the Union when the will of the people have spoken. It was the will of the people that Ronald Reagan be president. It was the will of the people that George Bush Sr. be president. It was the will of the people that George W. Bush be president. And it is the will of the people that Barack Hussein Obama be president. A grown-up would understand that. A grown-up would realize that you don't win every election. That when you have a Democratic Party and a Republican Party, that sometimes the Democrats will win and sometimes the Republicans will win. And when there's a Republican as president, the Democrats live with it. And when there's a Democratic president, the Republicans should live with it. The Tea Party should live with it. Let's see, George Bush. Oh, okay. First, Ronald Reagan, 8 years. George Bush Sr., 8 years. There's 16 years. Then there was 8 years of Clinton. Then there was 8 years of George W. Bush. So out of 8 years of presidency, only one of them was a Democrat. We had 24 years of almost straight Republican presidents. Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton, and George W. Bush. And now we have Barack Hussein Obama. And the right-wing Tea Party are crying crocodile tears. They lost an election. They're not only crying about it, they want to secede from the Union because they lost an election. They want to have armed violence against the federal government. This is totally fucked up. Totally fucked up. And it is indicative of the Tea Party members when they hold up a sign that says, "Keep the government off of my Medicare." You fucking morons. Medicare is a government program. This has been another episode of Politics as Usual.